you, Sherri. Hey, I love your clothing that you're doing, especially those leather pants. Do you happen to have, or do you design for menopausal women with menopause?
Yes, I
How
do.
do you know
I do.
so well? Like, what am I gonna wear?
For me too. There's a lot of clients that wanted like middle waist. It's more complimentary
Yes,
for the whole curve thing, and
yes.
some are a little higher. You can see the butt a much nicer shape. So I do three choices now. So the low cut was when I started because I always liked the low cut. One of my favorite brands back in the, I don't know, 90s to 2000 was Frankie B because I love
Oh my
the line.
God, Frankie
Right?
B.
So that's one of my favorite jeans when it was really popular. I remember they were expensive, but they just like fit you so good and you just want to buy them. So that's why I started my line kind of low cut because that's kind of my sweet spot. I love it. But then I, started to move up a little bit. I have different clients, right? Some likes to show off the belly. They work out all the time. Some more self-conscious. They want to be just not too out there. And then more and more people wanted to, because recently, high-waisted pants were pretty in. I wasn't a fan of it, but recently I just bought one pair of shorts, like, I don't know, the sweat shorts, but it's like high-waisted. I put it on, like, hey, that's really cute. So my recent two pairs have a little bit of higher waist. You probably like it
Yeah.
better. But I think you look great and
Oh,
everything.
you're such sweet. How long have you been sewing? Because when I met you years ago through my Hollywood friends, and it
Yeah.
feels like this new era for you happened, at least what I noticed, happened during COVID. So when did you start
Yes.
sewing?
So I started sewing, I would say maybe 8 years ago. It's a funny reason why I started sewing because my mom's always been sewing for her whole life. So I got a lot of influence from my mom. I think I am who I am or what I'm doing is, I would say 50% because of my mom. She was here in US at the time and I had two kids at home and then she still helps out on sewing but anytime I have something I say, hey mom, can you hem this for me? So I didn't know how to use sewing machine even though I seen her sew my whole life. But she always says, why don't you just try it? I'm like, I don't know. But then one time she had to go back. She had to go back to China because she had some, health issues. She wanted to go back and then just to see all the doctor. So after she's gone, like I was doing a lot of kind of sewing, designing stuff. I'm like, what am I going to do now? And so I went to take 3 sewing classes. It was very, very easy, like half an hour sewing class, but I get it like that. So I think because mentally I've been educated sewing and the whole fashion stuff. So yeah, I really been sewing myself about 8 years.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
yeah.
Now, are you doing your own patterns?
Yes, I do all my own patterns. My mom actually does patterns. She knows how to do all that. So she showed me when I was, maybe 20 years ago. So, but I didn't really pursue that as a profession or something because I had to work, like, the day job. But I know how to do the pattern. And then my mom helped me when I started my design because I kind of have a few basic pattern and then I changed to different sizes. And then sometimes, if I change completely different design, like a bell bottom or straight leg or skinny, I have those patterns already set under the help of my mom. Yes. So I do my own pattern.
So what type of machine are you on? That's got to be a heavy duty machine.
No, actually, no. I used industrial before. I use Brothers. I have 3 machines. One is a regular sewing machine.
Okay.
One is a serger, which most people use. Especially I work on all spandex. So spandex needs serger. And then I also have a cover stitch machine. So the cover stitch is kind of, you only see the front. You know how the t-shirt, when you see the bottom of the t-shirt, you see the line in the front, the back looks like this. So that's a cover stitch. So I use those 3 machines on all my clothes almost. I have 2 sewing machines. One of the sewing machine is more heavier duty, can work on denim, even though I don't really work on denim. Once in a while, I'll have a denim order. They want me to work on a piece of jeans or vest. And then I would use that machine. But my regular Brother machine, it's all my spandex.
Wow. So what's the process from client coming in and then you do a fitting? What does that look like?
I don't know if a lot of the independent designers do that, but for me, I don't really do fitting as much anymore because everything's online during pandemic. Like you mentioned, I really launched the Riot Stitch, the official name, during pandemic 2020. Most of my clients I would say 80% of my clients I've never met yet.
Well,
even though I've been doing their clothes for 20, maybe some people have like 20, 30 pairs. So they're, East Coast. I have a lot of clients East Coast, and then all over the US. I have a few in Europe, growing a little bit in Europe. So the process usually, I'll just say like a standard. Usually people reach out to me either on social media, Instagram, or they saw somebody wear my clothes, because I do have quite a few touring musician, international and national touring musician. They were wearing my clothes, so people would reach out to me. I'm pretty good on trying to respond to people on social media, because that's kind of all my traffic coming, both Facebook and Instagram, and some are through website. So once they contact me, they'll say, oh, I saw so-and-so wear this pants. I love it. What do you do? Like, they go to my Instagram, but most people don't really go to my website yet. They just see pictures. And then I said, well, take a look. I usually just send them a riotstitch.com. I say, go to my website, go to stagewear, and that's where the whole tab is all my stagewear there. And some people will come back, oh, it's all girls. I'm a dude. I say, yeah, but 90% of my clients are men. I do men's more than girls. Although my female crowd has been growing in the past 2 years tremendously. And you know how girls are. They want to have 100 pair of pants. Guys like 2 pairs a year, they're happy. It's like, oh, I'm going on tour. Can I have 1 pair of pants? And then just, that kind of thing. Girls definitely keep me busy, which I love my girls. So once they look on my website and then they look at all the style, I said, tell me if you have exactly what you're looking for on my style, or you like maybe 2 or 3 combination of the design, or you already have a design in your head. Because there's a lot of creative people come to me, because, if they support me, they like creative stuff. And they already have idea. They like certain color, they like certain pattern, they like certain style. So they'll give me an idea. So after that, usually people come back, say, I like exactly like this. And they just order. I said, all my items are made to order. I don't stock. So all my clothes is my size. I'm an extra small size 0. But the spandex does stretch out. So it's between 0 to 4 can fit all my already made clothes.
Okay.
I do have quite a few clients my size, so they just buy it off me whenever I post something. They, oh, I love it, so they just order that one because they're my size. But I tell them turnaround time is about 2 weeks for each piece.
Wow.
If you order a set, would it be like 3 weeks? Yeah. For custom made order, I think I'm pretty fast considering I do everything from scratch. And then we talk about fabric. Usually, if you like a style, they'll say, okay, I like that, but I want it in black. I don't really like I don't know, bright yellow, because I have a lot of, bright colors.
Yes.
I love glam, 80s glam. So they can decide the pattern. I can show them certain pattern. They say, okay, I want a yellow leopard. Then I'll show her like maybe 3 or 4 or guys or 3 or 4 yellow leopard pattern. Then they'll say, okay, I like that one. And then I get all their measurements. The measurements are pretty easy for me because spandex has stretched so much. And most of my spandex waist stretch. They cross about 2 to 3 sizes. So I just ask their waistline, what's your jean size you wear? Like I wear 25. So, and then how long is your inseam? And then sometimes I tell people how to measure them because they're, what's that? Well, you measure from the crotch to the line and then all the way to down. If you wear heels, you add whatever platform you wear, which I wear really high platform because I'm short. So, and then that's pretty much it. And then I always ask a few more questions like, do you like low cut? Do you like, skinny leg, straight leg, small flare, or bell bottom? And then high waist, medium waist, low waist. Do you need belt loop? Do you need back pockets? That's kind of how I take all the orders. That's about it.
So a little fun fact, I sew. I love to sew.
Yeah?
I love to sew. But I haven't sewed in years. But like you, it's like a fish in water. For me, sewing is so easy. And that might be one of the reasons why I just don't pursue it as much because it doesn't feel as challenging. If I got in front of the sewing machine right now, I could totally sew something. I'm fast like you. I'm super fast. I don't know where that gift came from, but,
Maybe you should. Maybe we should do like a sister store or something.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun though, but I have this ADD, and so I get focused on something and then I move on to the next. And so I never really stay with anything too long.
Do you sew like shirts, pants, or just like fun projects?
So when I was a kid, we grew up, I didn't have a lot of money. And so I learned to sew out of necessity so I'd have nice things to wear. And then I would go to thrift shops and sew things or, take things in and alter them so that I could wear them.
How fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a creative outlet for me, but I never, I didn't pursue it or anything. That's why I'm so fascinated that you're doing that. And that I do understand that, that I can see that you go fast for sure. because if I were sewing, I would go fast myself. You talked about some of your artists. Could you name some of the artists that you've designed for?
Yes. As you know, so my main focus is my whole style is all rock and roll because I'm a big rock and roll fan.
Yes.
That's how we met. They started with Keith St. John, first
Love that
client.
guy.
I did a lot of pants for him, and he's in Vegas now doing the residency, reading the rock hall. So Vegas is kind of bling and rock, so it's perfect fit for my style too. A few years ago, I have a girlfriend named Tina Sousa, and she actually introduced me to Neil Zlozar, the legendary photographer, and he retired. And then when she introduced me, she said, I don't think he'll shoot photos anymore because he retired. So I'm pretty persistent, right? So I talked to him on the phone. He's super nice, super sweet. He's very short, like very short. If anybody knows Neil, knows how he is. He's like no bullshit guy. But, we get along really well. And then I went to visit him. I said, hey, let's grab food, grab dinner together. He said, okay. So we sit down, we start talking, we compare notes, we know all the guys and da-da-da-da-da. So he decided to give me a photo shoot. And it's on my bucket list. I still tell him that. So after that, he's like, who do you like? Make some clothes or you want to make, I said, well, Steel Panther is perfect for my clothes. Yes. And then he said, okay, well, I know Ralph really well. I said, you do? He said, let me text him. Like a day later, because we're like this, he's like an action guy. He doesn't bullshit. He just do it. When he says he'll do it, he'll do it. And then like literally he told me like 2 days later, I just got a call from Ralph. And, I had a moment and I'm like, ooh, I didn't answer because I don't know where I was or whatever. So I got a voicemail. So he said, hey, it's Ralph, aka Michael Starr from Steel Panther. He said, hey, I love your stuff. Let's give me a call. Maybe we can do something together. So Steel Panther, after that, we can talk about that a little more. But so that's one of my big clients right now. In the past 2.5 years, I did their outfits for their America Got Talent. They went on the audition. I did all their stage pants. And recently I just did like a big production for them because they're shooting overseas. They were in Europe for 3-4 months. This year. So I did 2 pair for each, the whole band. I also met Brad Gillis a long time ago when I was doing clothes for Keith St. John. So I did a few pieces for him. And Gus G is one of my favorite guitar player. When I used to watch him play with Ozzy, I don't know, like 15,
Gus
20
is
years
a real.
ago. So
I interviewed him once. He's a very lovely guy, and he did the intro music for your videos.
Yes,
he's absolutely lovely.
He was also one of my very first artists that I did. I say, hey, I started to do this clothing line. I'm like, I want to make a pair of pants for you. He said, okay, and then he was here for NAMM. That was before pandemic, like a year before pandemic. And he was here because he's from Greece, right? So I never get to see him. I made him a pair of pants. He loved it. And he played a whiskey. And so we've been friends after that. And then so recently I decided to want to do a promo, like a professional promo video for Riot Stitch. And I wanted to, don't want to deal with copyright all the songs, even though there's so many songs I love. So I just figured maybe I should have something of my own. And when you're promoting a product, I feel like maybe just some, just instrumental would be more attractive and complementary with my clothing.
I agree.
I have the music, so I messaged him. I said, hey, I'm doing this and this. I said, I love how you're playing. All your music, everything you do. I said, what do you think? Do you think you can write a tiny piece, like 30 seconds or a minute for me? He said, yeah, absolutely. So he sent me a clip because he asked me what kind. I said, like hard rock 80s. He said, I think I know the piece. So he sent me a demo. I loved it. And then he just kind of completed like in 2 days. And I used it right away. So Gus G is one of them. And another one is Philip Schaus. And he played with Ace Frehley before. And then he joined Accept. I don't know, maybe 2-3 years ago. So I saw them in New York City. I was traveling with my girlfriend. We went there and I said, hey, you want to go check out Accept? And Martin, the bass player, actually is friends of mine at that time. I said, hey, can you put me on the list? And then he said, yeah. So I went there. I met the whole band. I met Philip. We follow each other on Instagram for a while. But when we met, he said, I love your clothes. I said, I love you playing, blah, blah, blah. Then he ordered the night. Like I left that night and we were Instagram talking and then he said, oh, I love this pair. Can you make it in black? I said, yeah, done. So I made him. And the good thing was they went on tour in Europe and he texted me maybe a few weeks later. He said, hey, Wolf really loves your pants. And I'm like, my heart's like, he's such a legend too. I saw him at Sweden Rock video. The guy just like rocking on the guitar, and the whole crowd went crazy on his classical rock and roll music stuff. I'm like, I would love to make a pair for him. And then he was texting me. Then I made a pair for Wolf Hoffman.
Wow.
So that was a very good experience. The whole thing, the band's amazing. I just made a whole outfit for Bill, and I made a Wolf a new pair. He just wear that one in Hellfest in Paris. The whole show was live, so I was watching him rock out. I texted him after. I said, I love the pants. He said, oh, thank you. He said, it looks great.
Do you have an artist that you really want to work with?
Of course. Yeah.
Slash?
Well, my bucket list is Steven Tyler and Slash. Yes. But I know, Steven Tyler just like perfect. But, I know, he's having health issue, and then they retired. Now, I was really sad. I still wanted to see them one more time.
Right.
But you never know, though. But I can still dress him even though he's not on stage. If he were one pair of my pants, I'll be very happy.
Right.
And Slash is one of my guitar hero, too. And I met him once. At that time, I wasn't making any clothes or anything. I just recently saw him at a Hollywood ball. He played too, but he's just a leather pants guy, t-shirt leather pants kind of guy. So I'm not sure. He'll probably say, I don't like that flashy stuff. I don't know.
How much fun is it for you to work with Steel Panther?
It's the best time. I mean, it's really a great experience. The guys are amazing.
I like Steel Panther.
I don't know if we have time. Do you want me to tell you how I met the band?
Of course.
So first, Ralph called me. And then he said, come to my house. Let's do a fitting. So I met Ralph first. So we did the 2 pair of pants when we started. I bought my pants, bought in, and then he loved it. And then we pick up the design. And then 2 days later, he's like, you want to meet the band? I said, yeah, of course. And he's like, we're shooting a video in LA. Why don't you come up? And I said, okay. He said, well, my drummer really likes your pants, but maybe the whole band will like it. I'm like, great. So I went, he sent me the studio address, and went to, I think it's in Pasadena. Yeah, Pasadena. It's like, I have no idea. I'm a little nervous at the time. I don't get nervous often, but meeting the whole band while they're doing, and then it's a different experience. So I was a little bit nervous. So I bought some clothes, and then I walk in. They're all super nice. Super nice. They're all relaxed. They had makeup on because they were shooting music video. So they're all dressed up with, full 80s glam going. And Ralph, of course, he introduced me to everybody. Everybody is so nice. Darren is a drummer. I'm talking their off stage name. Sticks is his name. And then Joe was there. I actually know Joe before. The new addition for Steel Panther, but he worked with, he was in Atomic Punks before. So I met him. And then Russ, Satchel, and he's just funny, he's super funny, super sweet. So I met all of them, they say, oh, show me some stuff you got. And then, I showed them, I'm like, okay, so this is one of my Riot Stitch. So I just kind of bought these pants in. Of course, I was wearing something I made too, so they're like, can I touch you? I said, yeah, of course, please touch.
Touch you.
So I just showed them a couple of my pants so they can feel it. They're so seasoned musicians and super professional. Mm-hmm. And they know exactly, like when Ralph talked to me, he said, is there a spandex 2-way stretch or 4-way stretch? I said, huh? How do you know that? Like, I think they know more than me, really. And then I think when I was there, they already decided. They said, okay, well, we'll order. They all ordered. So I had to measure them. So I just, how measure Steel Panther wearing their pants is just funny. But they're super professional. I just, and then I think, was it Ralph or Ross was saying, are you blushing? I said, no, I'm not blushing because, you got to touch them and try to measure everything and try to write it down. But yeah, that was how I meet the band. Good experience. And they're super professional, very easy to work with. Ralph is, he's a lead singer. He's very specific.
Yes.
Like he knows what he like, what he doesn't like. So we had to make some adjustment. Eventually he was happy after that. But the other 3, the pants is perfect. Fits perfect. They're just like, we love it. Russ likes bright colors, so he likes all my stuff. Ralph likes more staying in black and red. He loves black and red. So he really likes hair. So that's probably
those are fantastic. Yes.
And they're Baobab, my friend. Wow. She's very, he's a big fan of David Lee Roth,
yes.
The Van Halen, 80s Van Halen feel.
How long does that one take to sew?
That one took a while. If I work 8 hours a day, that one probably maybe 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that looked really detailed.
These ones are more detailed design, more expensive level ones, because just a lot of detail. Every stud, I make every stud, putting everything in there.
Yes.
So
that's amazing. So now what's next for you? Are you going to go Frankie B and you're going to just get a big warehouse and start sewing away? Or are you gonna stay where you're at?
I have a few people come talk to me, and we're actually kind of looking into getting to stores and stuff. It's not there yet. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet.
Yep.
I actually enjoying what I'm doing right now as a boutique. And I feel I like to talk to every client. I know every one of my clients. I like that intimacy feeling. And I like design different stuff, one-offs, because most of my design are one-offs. And right now I don't have pressure. I don't need to stress. If I want to do it, I do it. I'm not super ambitious, but I want to do what I do, what I like to do, what I enjoy to do. So for now, I think I'll stay where I am. If any opportunity comes up, if it's perfect fit, I'm sure I'm open to other ideas, because there's a few other people in the same fashion industry. They'll come out and they say, hey, I'm going to have a store in Vegas. Are you interested to have a wall of Riot Stitch? I said, I did that. I said, I can do that, but still boutique, not mass production. Not yet. I'm not ready right now. So
that's so smart to honor your truth and not be clouded by greed, which most people would. They'd be seeing those dollar signs and not looking at, you know what, this is actually going to cost me more. And plus, you probably look at it like it's your baby. That's your baby. You've been nurturing this, and you don't want to just hand it over to someone that might not have the same.
Yeah, I know. And I heard a lot of horror story for smaller business owner jumping to the medium-sized one. That's where people fail. Bankrupt, got fulfilled order, but then, didn't come through or couldn't do whatever. I heard some really scary stories. And for me, I have a day job. I do a corporate job. And then this is kind of my side business, but also my passion. And I want to keep going. And I meet a lot of interesting people. Everybody that I met loves rock and roll. So it's like, I'm making friends, not just having clients. And I love when they look amazing, either on stage, off stage. And when they wear my clothes, they're like, dude, I feel really sexy on these. And some guys too. And like, hey, no chick ever pay attention to me. But as soon as they were like, I'm like, those story is amazing. And or whoever come to me and say something about, like Wolf says something, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot two big clients I have. I made shorts for Mickey D from Scorpion.
Okay.
That was a very good experience.
That's awesome.
I met him in Vegas when they were doing residence. And Kiki Wong, who recently, she joined Smash Pumpkins.
Okay.
And I just did, she's on tour right now. I did her big outfit, and she writes such a good, we were back and forth on Instagram, and she's like, I have a lot of designers' clothes. Your clothes just really amazing. I got so many compliments. I mean, she gets compliments anywhere she goes, right? She looks great. She plays great.
She does look great.
Who doesn't love her? But she said, but where's your clothes? So that's my two other pretty big clients that I'm very happy with too. And I'm always trying to reach out to more people. The more, the merrier. Can wear my design to see them out there. So
that's wonderful. So tell me really quick about Guitar Thrills on the cover. Honey,
yes.
Those pictures are so hot. Can you show the front and the back?
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God.
So here's the magazine, and here's the back.
Wow.
JP is a photographer, and he actually worked with Guitar Thrill magazine. I'm a kind of a pilot for him to shoot all the covers for Guitar Thrill magazine now. So Edward is the owner. So we connected about 9 months ago. So that's kind of the article. Yeah. We did an interview. This is my second interview with them. Talked about what I've been doing the past 2 years. The first one was last June. That's how we met. And he said, hey, we want to endorse Riot Stitch. I said, really? And he said, yeah. He said, love what you do, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And then that's how it started. So here's a few spreads in there. Thank you. And then here's my clothes.
Yes. You have the vest too.
Yes. So I do, I would say my strong suit, which I love to do, is pants. But I do vest, I do tops because I do a lot of sets. A lot of people say, I don't have anything to go with your pants. What am I going to do? Especially girls.
Right.
And then then I'll say, I do the whole set. So I do like crop tops. Like this one is a crop top. You can wear without the mesh. Or just go.
Yeah.
And here's Wolf on there. That's the last page. But I feel pretty proud on the cover. I've never been on the cover. It's a really nice magazine with a lot of artists in there. Very good magazine.
Yeah.
That's another issue. That's Paul Stanley on the cover. And
I was
on the back.
Oh, look at you on the back. Oh, that's...
I know. I had a Steel Panther merch on. I had a little wig going.
Oh my God, that's great.
So I was on the back of the magazine for the last year quite a few times. Lita Ford on the cover, one of the year.
You need to get really your clothes.
Me wearing guitar. I know, I would love to, but I think she wears a lot of leather.
Okay.
I don't really work with leather. I'm hoping to meet her sometime. Yeah. Guitar Thrills has been very supportive of me, and I do the same for them. Great magazine. They're very avant-garde, and they embrace all kinds of music, not just rock and roll. But I would say they definitely have a preference on rock and roll. They do like all the rockers and girls, and they're doing so well. They're based in Tampa, Florida.
We'll have to check it out. Now, where can people find you?
So I'm on both Instagram and Facebook, and it's Riot Stitch RockWear on Instagram and Facebook. And a lot of people reach out to just Sherri Lu on Facebook. I do a lot of friends, people just like to talk to the person instead of just talking to, I don't know, automated voice assistants or something. So you can find me on Sherri Lu, SherriLu, on Facebook. And then my website, you can reach me on my website. You can send a message. I always get them right away. RiotStitch.com. No, I think that's the best way to reach me.
Well, I want to tell you, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I think everything that you're doing right now is so awesome, and girl power, right?
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's an honor. I know you for so long. I love to watch your interviews. To be one of them, it's very, thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and, hear me talking about my little story about, what I do.
I love it. You're blowing up, and this is just great. So thank you again, and I'm going to see you soon. I'll see you in Hollywood.
Thank you,
friend.
Shada.
God bless you.
Bye.